The angels in the Bible are also Elohim. This is true. The other angels in the Bible, like Michael, for example, we're going to focus on Michael in particular in this Bible, but there's a lot of examples that we can use. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to focus on Michael and Zedekiel because this is an important aspect to this. Michael is an amalgamated angel. He is an amalgamated deity that is based off of the evolution of the Anunnaki named Usar Amasu, which evolved into Sadiq, while some may argue that Kittim is the deity from the Anunnaki that evolved into Sadiq. Either ways, we see this connection, and I argue for Usar Amasu simply because of his connection to Eshmun, which is another Asar or Osirian type deity. But we know that Usar Amasu is equivalent or syncretic with Sadiq, alongside Kittim being also syncretic. But Usar Amasu is a god or an Anunnaki of righteousness. So is Kittim. And so is Sadiq. That is their definition. They are defined by righteousness. So these gods may have instantiated righteousness into the minds or the spirits of the Elohim or mankind, just like how we have deities that come later on that come with writing and they install knowledge, like Nabu, who is an Anunnaki variant of the Elohim Yalda Yahan. Like, these are deities that are deities of wisdom and knowledge and understanding, and even of teaching the lost sheep, supposedly. You know what I'm saying? But we see that Sadiq is the beginning of this process. Usar Amazu is the beginning. But to focus on Michael, Michael comes from this lineage. But how do we connect Michael to Sadiq? We use Melchizedek. Michael is a later variant of Melchizedek that has evolved and manifested as an angel in later times in the New Testament, for example, or in later Jewish apocrypha or apocalyptic texts. But we know that Michael and Melchizedek share the same role. They are both judges of righteousness. They are both gods or Elohim of light. Because yes, an angel is an Elohim. And the Elohim include beings that are called spirits. They are called the Malachi or the Melech, which are the angels. This is why we see that there is even one Elohim called Milcom. This is where you see that the angels, the messengers, are also Elohim. The Elohim in their most ancient renditions had their own set of angels, which were also just lesser Elohim. Like Baal Hadad had Ugar and another entity named Gupan, or Amudru was an angel to Asherah and El when you go into the Elohimic text or the Ugaritic Canaanite text. And we see that Michael is just the Elohim or the angelic version of the Elohim Melchizedek, which is evolved from the Elohim Sadiq, because Melchizedek is just taking Melchi, which is another word for angel or for a messenger, and combining that with Sadiq. Sadiq, the god of righteousness. That's why Melchizedek means king of righteousness, or righteousness is king. And that is exactly the role of Michael. He is the righteous king of the angels. Yes, Michael is another king of the angels. But Michael is not just only absorbing Melchizedek / Sadiq motifs. And to finish off on the Melchizedek / Sadiq motifs, we see that Michael is the bringer of light, the judger of other angels, the judger of even the other gods when you look into it deep enough. And that's because this is his rightful role based off of who he also absorbed, which is Baal Hadad. Michael is the slayer of the great dragon, right? Michael is the leader of the war against the rebellious demons or fallen angels or Elohim, right? Or the watchers, as they call them, right? That is Baal Hadad's thing. He is the leader. He is the Elohim that is in charge of other Elohim. He is the Elohim that is the king of the other Elohim. He is the Elohim that judges the other Elohim. He is the Elohim that goes to war with the great dragon, Tahamatu, Yam, Nahadru, Lotan, Rahab. This is Baal Hadad's thing. And we see Michael taking up this same type of role and character in the book of Revelations and even in other extra biblical texts. And the deity that I mentioned earlier, Zedekiel, is them trying to make concessions for them angelicizing Melchizedek while also angelicizing Baal Hadad. So what they did was, to make up for that, they just angelicized Melchizedek again, or Sadiq again, into the angel we know as Zedekiel. But look into that further if you would like to. Comment down below.